praises due to the Most High, family. We talking more football. I'm catching up on these games with y'all. The Los Angeles Rams and Tennessee Titans. This is Cardinal Cam Ward watch. This is the Ward watch. Quick disclaimer, just so y'all know, I watched the highlights. I checked the box score. I did not catch the game live, but this is my perspective. I'm particularly interested in Cam Ward because Cam Ward went to a few schools, but one of those schools I also went to and played football, not at the same time, but that's the reason behind my interest in Cam Ward's success. I want to see him win. And he looked a lot better than last week. He didn't look actually bad last week. It was really his receiving core that looked bad last week. And that was, I forgot who they played last week, but that was I think it was the Broncos. That was a sloppy football game that I watched last week. The Titans looked more buttoned up this week, but I'm realizing exactly where their weaknesses are. Excuse me, family. I can pinpoint last week. I just thought Cam Ward was fighting for his life, but the receivers had dropped balls last week. The defense wasn't good last week. They were playing Bo Nix. The Broncos offense wasn't that great. Anyhow, we talking about the Rams and the Titans. The Rams they're no scrub team, right? Calvin Ridley kind of need to be, I don't know. Are we asking too much of, a seasoned receiver like Calvin Ridley? I'm a Saints fan, so I remember Calvin Ridley on the Falcons. Is that Calvin Ridley too far gone? I don't know. That's a genuine question I have. But Cam Ward had a good first half. He was working some magic on a couple plays. Definitely fighting for his life. He's giving it his best. He had some good throws, some ill-advised throws that worked out for him. While he's improvising. But for the Titans, their offensive line is kind of trash. And then on the defense, their secondary is kind of trash. Cam Ward cannot get comfortable. If you watching him, that's why he's making these ill-advised throws. He's literally running for his life while trying to find an open receiver. That offensive line, if it's not trash, it's been playing like it because he's under siege. He's not comfortable. He's not safe at all. Cam Ward is not. The receivers are not bad, but you can tell. When you're a rookie quarterback, your strength is generally not spreading the ball out left and right. If you go look at the box score, family, if you go watch those highlights, he's spreading the ball around, which is not a bad thing. That's not a bad sign. That's actually a good sign because he's going through his progressions. He's not depending on a receiver. But me personally, I wanna create a connection. I want my quarterback to have a favorite receiver, not to depend on him, but to go to when you're under siege like this, someone that can always be there. And if you just toss it up, they're gonna help you out. And I don't think he has that favorite receiver, which is why he's got such a spread out targeting as far as his receivers. Okay. The defense, now the Titans defensive line was actually they was putting some pressure on Matt Stafford, but Matt Stafford is a veteran quarterback. Matt Stafford is a good quarterback. He's a really good quarterback. So, like, he can handle some pressure, and they was putting pressure on him, but just not enough. The secondary, though, is trash. The Titans secondary is trash. The Rams they had one, who was it? Nacua was almost 100 yards receiving. Davante Adams had 100 yards receiving. Two different 100-yard receivers. That's kind of indicative of a poor secondary. Now, really, the backbreaker was Cam Ward's fumble, but he's a rookie quarterback. Like I said, his line was not helping him. So while you don't want to see that, while that's not excusable, I mean, it's gonna happen. That's what football is. If your quarterback is getting hit and pressured and scrambling for his life, it's gonna happen. But Cam Ward looked, I would say, much better from week 1 to this week. Especially against a better team. So, I mean, that's all. I don't know if I'm gonna fill up 10 minutes on this game review, because really, I'm watching the game for Cam Ward. That's really my main interest in this game. I know the Rams are a decent team. I know Matt Stafford is. I don't know if I put him top 5. I know on TV they put him on top 5, but Matt Stafford is a top quarterback. I don't know if he's my top 5, but he's definitely not outside the top 10. And he's well experienced. He just got some injury, he's got like his back issues he's dealing with. But that's my analysis of the game, family. It's kind of, I don't know if weird is the right word, but like on one side of the ball for the Titans, the offensive line is the problem. But then on the, you would think that at practice, a good defensive line would develop your offensive line. That's why I think it's kind of weird. If you do, because the ones practice against the ones, not the whole practice, but at least at the most important part of practice is when the ones line up. If you have a good defensive line, you think that would help your offensive line mature. But I bet that practice is hell. That defensive line is probably whooping the offensive line's butt. And then the receivers are decent, and the secondary is so bad. You would think that would actually be a recipe to develop a more complementary football team, but that's just not what I've seen in the first 2 games from the Titans. I think the Rams are now 2-0, so I mean, they're a solid football team. What weakness? I didn't really see a weakness in the Rams. Not one that stood out. I mean, maybe because they're not really defending the most potent offense. But the running game was pretty good. The passing game was definitely strong. They got two. Nacua is a wide receiver 1. He was certainly, if he went to the Saints, he'd be wide receiver 1. So the Rams, I think that's their strength, is Stafford is a veteran, mature quarterback with legit 2 number 1 receiving options. And the running game was solid. And the defense was serviceable. I mean, the D-line got pressure, which allowed the secondary they made some plays. I mean, they had some pass breakups. They caused a turnover. And they allowed the offense to really play comfortably. So, I don't know. I got to see more from the Rams. I don't know if they're one of my top teams, but they certainly played some complimentary football in this game. I didn't really see a weakness, but we know the Titans. That's you don't get the number 1 pick for being a good team. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is.